The Kendy and Raybo podcast, sponsored by Maves and the Garavo Bar.
Now we're away.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Autonomous Brendan.
This is a weird. So this, lads, ladies and gentlemen, is there's nobody in the room with us. It's just two cute guys.
Back to the way it was.
Yeah.
And it's 1 o'clock of a Saturday as well, which is the time we used to record at.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's like 2019 all over again. Come here. I'm worried about this virus they're on about in China. I don't know, because it's 2019.
I don't know, Mark. I think it's going to bring good things.
2 weeks, I'd say. I'd say 2 weeks should stem it.
Yeah,
should cut it back.
I'm just hoping I get to work from home for the rest of my life.
Isn't it? Have they fully embraced that now? Now that we're sitting in 2025?
For some reason, there's still people against it.
Yeah.
Employers, their bosses, managers and such. They're still kind of going, I don't know, is this a good thing? There's just an inherent suspicion about it.
Yeah.
Are you at home watching Netflix?
But so can I say this? I think that they're right, but I don't think we should have such an obsession with productivity over.
I'm enjoying the fact
lifestyle.
that you think it's right.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, obviously,
not ever having worked from. Well, you actually work from home.
Well, I've only ever worked. Well, actually, I work every night from. I can't work from home. I mean,
but you work like your video work brings.
Yeah, everything I do is from home anyway.
And are you useless? And do people always giving out about the fact that you get nothing done?
Yeah, but that's nothing to do with me being at home, though. That's no. So I think that we do Ireland is supposed to be a really nice place to live,
Yeah.
And obviously you have to work hard, but I think work-life balance is real, and I think there should be a bit of leeway. Once something gets done, then don't be worrying.
Exactly.
Don't be worrying if I was sitting on my computer for 8 hours. Did the job get done at the end of the day that was supposed to get done? Well, it did. Okay, well, I'm glad you got some free time in between that to make sure everything was all right in the house. And
can I offer some insight into that?
Yeah.
If you know how long a job takes, and if I then ask someone else to do that job, I know that we'll say 2 days worth of work to get that finished. I don't be worrying about them working from home. If they get it done in a day and a half, no problem.
That's such a good point. Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
It's all about, from a management perspective, is knowing how long it takes to do the job.
Yeah.
On average. And that's the best way to figure that out is do it yourself.
Yeah.
So there's one thing I do in work, which is entering data onto a system. And I know that it takes, for every line on a spreadsheet, I know that it's going to take about a minute and a half, 2 minutes max. So if there's 100 lines on the spreadsheet, I know immediately how long it's going to take someone, if they were at it full time, to do it.
Yeah.
And you just that's the way you work it then.
Yeah. So I just feel that I'm really, really against the whole idea that unless you're up to your eyes now, well then maybe we don't need you then. So
yeah,
you know that mentality.
I do. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
it drives me mad.
It shouldn't be the way.
I've been in those situations, and like I said, I'm not asking for a real lack of productivity. Obviously, you need to get stuff on.
You want a little bit of quiet time every now and again.
Yeah,
you don't have to be feeling.
But there was also I've been on jobs with crews where it's been your man is sitting down. Sure, we didn't need him now.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd be well, no, everyone's not stressed before the thing is about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you there seems to be a mentality. Unless we're all at 100% stress, well then someone here then is expendable.
Yeah,
we
could have done this ourselves.
We could, yeah. Whereas I always say this to. I've been working with Temper Hound recently, which is Rory Maitland, you know, and me and Rory,
a film production company,
and we'll do a lot of jobs together where. If there's a show at 8 o'clock, we'll usually be at 7:15. We'll be sitting down waiting.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit bored, whatever. I way prefer that than to be stressing at 5 to 8.
Yeah, sweating,
going shit. What that lead's not working. We got to plug this. You know.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So and there might be jobs where you'd say, "Asher, one man will do that." Look, I did jobs where they were not one man jobs.
Yeah.
They were a 5-man crew job, and you did it on your own. And
but you know something? That's what.
And my back went.
But employers like it when they can get away with not the less. And I've seen this in pubs around the town.
Okay.
where rosters would have been, reduced in number of staff because look at 3 will get it done. They'll be under serious pressure for the day. They won't enjoy any bit of it, and they'll hate themselves after it. But I'll save money. No one's happy.
No one is happy. Yeah. And I get you.
That's the constant fight, though. It's the fight against the man that wants to get it done with 3 people, with 5 would get it done a lot less stress-free. More stress-free.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, I think the optics of that as well, there seems to be this other optical worry that clients that you're working with will look and go, sure, the boys are at nothing.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would, though. I think they look and go, gee, that's a good...
Yeah,
there was no stress there at all today working with that crew, wasn't there?
Absolutely.
And the other thing then as well is you ran about it there, like, so, that sounds lovely.
It's the only one left. I'm sorry, Mark.
Oh, you splod everywhere.
It's not like you drink it.
I don't really drink on a Saturday. I only drink 5 days a week.
You're okay.
Yeah, the
I
weekend.
normally drink any day that ends in Y.
The other thing I was going to say is, obviously there's a worry then from the company's point of view that you're working for, let's say, or that they're like, well, we economically, like, we need to cut corners everywhere we can in this modern world, you know. But
they're the companies that tend to keep going.
Yeah, that's the thing as well.
There's literally a balance.
Yeah.
It's the yin and yang job. So there's the kind of everybody feeling not too stressed, but we still need to make pound.
Yeah. I kind of just want to make pound and not be stressed though.
Yeah, well, look, that's why.
But then you'll never make loads of pounds.
That's why me and you'll never be millionaires.
Yeah, but that's so true though.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah.
You have to be.
There's a certain mindset.
You know, like when you hear of stuff like, they saved a little bit of money here and a little bit of money here, and you're like, why would they bother?
Why would they bother? Yeah, it adds up.
It adds up.
What does it say about the pennies? Say look after them or something, but then the pennies went out of fashion, as in they were no longer currency. So I don't know what happened to that statement.
Crypto pennies nowadays, Raymond. Anyway,
why don't have a drink?
No, yeah.
So let's fix that.
Why? What does that mean?
So this we got a little package from previously known as German Sarah and now Sligo Sarah. So she's rebranded.
Listen, Sarah love, I'm only from down the road. You'll never be Sligo Sarah.
You're still German Sarah.
You're German Sarah.
Hey guys, she says on the back of an envelope. She said, "Here's a little taste of Hamburg for you again." So this is more Hamburg for us.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, confetti himmy, a raspberry blue liqueur.
Oh, I'm going to get sick.
When I was younger and needed the money, that was 6 months ago, according to her, I did the promo for it on the famous Hamburg Reeperbahn.
Sure, everyone knows the Reeperbahn.
I've never heard of the Reeperbahn.
To the roads there, go straight through Hamburg.
Yeah. So now you know how I fund my Irish adventures. Hope you like it. Cheers to the epic podcast from the Plosinator.
Lovely. That's Sarah Ploss, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So she's brought us a gift, and
Sligo's finest export. There's a tariff on her now, though, if she goes abroad.
So now
20%.
This looks like little bottles of Calpol.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, if my daughter saw that,
would she
100% she'd have it.
Yeah, and if you'd like to see what we're drinking, subscribe to the Patreon.
Look at that.
It's only $5 a month, and it's just wonderful, and it keeps the bills paid on our side.
Cornfetti Hyman. Cornfetti or Hyman?
Himmy. I don't think it's a Hyman.
It's a Cornfetti Hyman. Well, if it is, that's the sound of it.
Stop!
Isn't that awful? Like, that's not the way we talk.
Oh no,
Isn't that terrible?
All right, okay, here we go. Right, so now just take a swiggy out of it.
No, it smells like I went to the doctor.
It sounds like cough syrup.
Doesn't it smell like you got 3 days off school but the problem is every morning you have to drink this stuff?
Let's have a little sucky out of it.
It's like cough syrup.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Jesus Christ above.
Oh, it's a bottle of heartburn.
Sarah, that was wonderful stuff.
I had to get the bottle of heartburn. It is sweet though, isn't it?
It's nice. I wonder what it'll taste like with the log.
Ray, you're going to go blind.
I've now combined the rest of the bottle with a tin of White Hag Christmas Ale.
Do you know what? It's only 15%.
Give it a wee mix.
That's what it's like. It's like Mickey Finn's.
Mickey Finn's, yeah.
Oh, Ray.
It's actually kind of better. So if Bob Coggins is listening, get on to this crowd in Hamburg and let's go with that.
God almighty. Well, Sarah Love, thank you so much indeed. Yeah. I'm going to be awake for 3 days.
It's episode 282.
Yeah.
And it's a Saturday. We are recording this in advance of the following Friday. So again, news cycle-wise, we're well behind.
Yeah.
Apologies for that. But, Mark, I'm really glad we're recording today.
Why?
Because I have some things I need to get off my chest.
Get them off your tits.
But I'm not going to get into it just straight away.
Get off my tits.
No, we're going to... I think we should start with me and you did two very different things on Wednesday.
Oh!
Yes. And we have to start with you because I went to a musical and you went to a musical.
Yeah.
We both. That's
Come here, listen. Make sure you call back next week when Ray'll finish this off.
That stuff that Sarah gave us is having an immediate effect on my speech. Oh God, I'm a little bit woozy after it.
We both brought
our lovely wives.
We did.
Right? So you went to?
Dublin.
Right. How did you enjoy Dublin? You don't like Dublin, obviously, so that you were going up.
No, I hate everything about the place. Like, not everything about the place.
Was it okay on Wednesday?
I mean, I've noticed this, that, and it's a stereotype and all. I hate the north side of the city. Like,
okay. But you were saying south side on this occasion.
yeah, I parked on the north side.
Why?
No, as in I parked in the convention centre.
Oh, you parked the north side then.
Yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
and then I just walked across the bridge to the Board Gosh.
The Bud Gosh.
To my type of people.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. I mean, it's not that. It's just, I feel like I really like that area around the Board Gosh.
It's nice, yeah.
Like, it's actually nice here. Do you know what we did? Like, because it was just the two of us and we left the kids at home, we just put them both to sleep. I think they slept the whole time. There was no one there. I'm not really sure. No, Adam. So we went to, I can't believe I'm about to say this to you now. So I know your reaction was going. We went to the Weatherspoons.
Oh,
beside
yeah.
the Board Gosh.
Yeah,
it was lovely.
Yeah, of course it is.
The place was full as a doctor's Kendy.
I forgot that I'm 3% British, by the way. I went back on my Ancestry.com results because of a conversation that was had last night, and I was saying I was 97% Irish. And they asked me, what was your other 3%? So I logged back into Ancestry.com from like a decade ago, and it is 3%. I'm Northern European or British. So that's why I think it's great that you went to Weatherspoons.
What part? What's the 3%?
3% is literally I'm English,
like your nose, or your ears. I mean, physically, like what?
No. I think it's the bit inside me that doesn't mind the fact that you went to Weatherspoons. How did you find it? Then?
So I loved Weatherspoons. The I love the fact that the place was full, and the sun was shining.
Yeah,
and I mean. It is the one thing about Dublin is you'll see people out and about.
Oh, it's people out enjoying, there's people sitting outside pubs drinking pints, and you're going, where is this in Sligo?
So where is this in Sligo in general? Yeah, because I found that we landed there at like 5 o'clock, so everyone was finishing work.
This is a Wednesday,
and there was a finishing work on a Wednesday. Let's go for a sneaky one vibe. And I was kind of buzzing off that. I was like, this is great. And there's not a huge amount of trouble around it. The only trouble that's around there is, and I don't know how they're clocking them, but electric scooters now go 200 mile an hour.
They do.
It is scandalous.
The speed of them.
Tracksuits on scooters is just, I've never seen it. Dublin is crazy, rampant with us.
Yeah.
It's so bad, these young lads, and they I don't know where they're getting the horns for them as well. They're they literally blow through crowds to scare them,
wow.
And people aren't passing heeding us.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Dublin is stuff is going on around you.
You don't pass the heat.
People are just going, I'm not passing heeding that. Anyway, we went to Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
Which was lovely. We just ordered drinks from the table. They brought out, got a little bit of food here and there. Now, something happened on the Wednesday of, I went to see the Book of Mormon.
Yes.
In the Board Gosh.
This is why, this is your musical experience.
Yeah, and I'll get onto it. I will get onto the board thing. But I saw everybody. It turns out that the only podcasters or influencers that weren't comped tickets, I know you were comped them, all you out there, were Kendy and Raybo.
You mean there was other podcasters?
Everybody was at it.
Who was at it?
I saw Justine Stafford.
Right.
I saw...
did she see you?
No, because I don't think she'd remember me anyway. I said to Nicola, I'm not going to go over and talk to her and then be that fella who's like, hi, I remember you did our show. Do you remember you did our show? She'd be like, yeah, whatever, yeah.
Right, so Justine was at it.
Justine. Do you know the three boys that were on the Tommy Tiernan show last week? They're like three podcasters.
Oh, I know the very ones because I went to their show on the Tuesday night in Dublin.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Hot Gags, I think it's called.
Yeah, so they were there.
Yeah.
I'm about to show you how little I know about anyone ever.
Yeah.
Do you know your man Patrice who wears the nice jackets on the RTE shows with the Dancing with the Stars?
Yes.
He was there. Do you know him? The fella who does the interviews?
Yeah.
What do you make of that now, Kate? Whatever your man's name is.
Yeah. Kaylee Trapp.
So him, Kaylee Trapp, that fella.
Was she at it?
No, she wasn't.
No. Okay.
There was more though. I saw, your man Baz Baz Bucky Book.
Yeah,
he was there.
He works for Bank of Ireland now at the minute.
Is he with? He's in behind the counter.
Himself and the mother working for Bank of Ireland.
In Sligo, he's in the.
Yeah.
He's in
he's just going around going, "Have you an account? Would you like
that
one
fella.
with Bank of Ireland?"
Loads of them. They were all there, and I was going, "Are we the only two films?"
Maybe they all paid for their tickets.
No, they did not. Then people have no money.
I don't think the Book of Mormon won't be comping local celebrities.
No, but I'd say what happened was someone in RTE or someone had tickets.
Okay, with you.
No, maybe
but
they
you were
all
there
did.
too anyway,
no,
which is great.
So. First person I saw was Justine. I was like, fair play to her for coming to the show.
Yeah.
Then 12 more influencer people were coming in.
Yeah.
And I was going to go up to them
and ask them why.
No, I was going to say, how are you? Like, I got comped tickets. Oh, yeah. Kendy from the Kendy Raybo podcast. Yeah, you got. I said I'd bring herself. Like, Ray couldn't make it. They gave tickets to another show as well.
Were they all standing together?
Yeah, they all were standing together, which is a bit annoying. They all kind of met up, as in one of them would walk in the door. We were people watching, which is great in the board.
Did you feel left out?
Oh, yeah, well, I felt like, we haven't met it yet, have we?
Yeah, but I know that, though.
Yeah, but I just kind of, when you see
You'd
it,
like to make it.
when you see it happening, it's kind of like in the animal kingdom when like all the gorillas are having the crack and there's one of them left on the outside.
Okay.
He turns into a serial killer. That one on the
Right,
outside.
okay.
So
I'm very sorry now.
just
that you
worried
felt
about
way.
that. I know
Did it affect your experience of the musical?
I can tell you, it did not expect my.
Did you hate every bit of it?
So I hated the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
Thank you.
It's the best show I've ever
I
seen.
knew you were going to say that.
No, but this is really annoying.
I wanted a kindred spirit in this podcast today. You enjoyed it, didn't you?
So it's kind of annoying. I know what you're getting at here. The Book of Mormon is every fella's favourite musical. So fellas who aren't into musicals love the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
You know you're Laura.
Yeah.
Remember you married her a while ago.
Do.
So I was chatting to her one time and she was saying that Hamilton would be kind of sneered at by the real hardcore musical goers.
Okay.
As not really being a musical.
I never heard that before, but we'll go
she
with
said
it.
that. She said like, no, obviously like, a lot of people love Hamilton, but like some of the real hardcore enthusiasts would go, I know Hamilton, that's a hip hop, that's not a musical, you know.
Yeah.
The Book of Mormon would be of the same vein, and those hardcore musical goers would hate fellas like me because they go, oh, I bet you the Book of Mormon's your favourite musical, is it? Like, oh, you know, that's
Did you enjoy it because it's in the South Park kind of stuff?
So I had forgot that it was a South Park thing.
Yeah.
Completely. So Nicola had said to me, we're going to go see the Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
And in typical Kendy fashion, I just went with us and I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I do remember saying to Nicola last week, I remember South Park did an episode on the Book of Mormon before, you know? I wonder, is it going to be similar to that? Like,
Yeah.
And then during the Book of Mormon show, my head was a bit messed. I was like, why is this so familiar and brilliant, but also like way too edgy?
Yeah.
Way too edgy. Like some of the comments.
They do a lovely song about AIDS, don't they?
Then, they do. Yeah, they do. Some of it is terrible. Like, but then they bring out this Jesus, a guy dressed as Jesus.
Yeah.
And he goes something along the lines of, this is the Book of Mormon, you guys. And I was like, they wrote this because he did a Cartman voice. And I was like, oh yeah, they wrote this musical.
Yeah.
The guys from South Park. And then the whole thing just blew open. I was like, now it all makes sense, you know?
And you enjoyed it?
I enjoy Ray. It is. I mean, first of all, watching a professional show is obviously
that's great.
Like, I mean, you watch a lot of local theatre and you love it, but watching professional show is unreal.
They're awful slick.
I think it's probably the best show I've ever seen.
Wow.
And the music in it is the African music in it is class.
I'm delighted for you, Mark.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
So can I ask you about your experience? Listen, tell me the story. But I said to Nicola, where is that musical show that they're going to see? And she said Vicar Street. And I was like, I don't think that's a musical. So
it's amazing how you go to one and all of a sudden you're an expert.
Well, it's just kind of, I've seen the Book of Mormon.
The poor guy.
Hello, my name is Elder Kendy. Okay, go on anyway.
Okay.
Talk to me about this. Why am I drinking this again?
Because it's good for you and it actually blows the head of you.
Do you know what it tastes like? My 21st.
Okay. Many, many months ago, it was announced that there was a musical being staged in Vicar Street, brand new musical, right, about the life of Philip Lynott, aka Tin Lizzy frontman.
Do you call him Linus or Linus?
Lynott.
Is it Linus?
Well, I think he would have been Lynott. I think there's other pronunciation. There was a long time in my life where I would have called him Phil Lynott. And I'm beginning to move to the Lynott thing because I think that's what he called himself.
I prefer Linus, and I'll tell you why before you get it.
Going,
No, because he was a bass player, and you could always say, well, what was he doing in the band? He was filling us in.
He was filling us in. He was filling it.
Yeah.
He's filling it.
No, filling us.
In. Yeah, that's very good. So this excited me something fierce. I was going, oh my God, this is basically a combination of like the band that I'm in love with since I was about 16 or 17. I have been one of the biggest Tin Lizzy fans, and equally he's my hero. Right? Yeah. This couldn't go wrong.
This is perfect.
Just perfect.
I can't wait to hear how brilliant it was.
I booked the tickets and I spent a good 70 quid in the tickets. Right?
I just fucking know what's going on.
No. I have to preface this.
Yeah.
Preface. I hate speaking ill of anyone. I don't like putting anyone down. I think everybody's great. I think fair play to them to give things a go.
Everybody.
Everybody's only just marvellous.
Like Hitler,
No, in fairness now, I don't like Hitler.
We won't get into that though.
I don't like the lad that stalked Alan Clark. You know,
people like that. Hitler like and the lad that stalked Alan Clark.
Yeah, don't like those people.
Those people.
So, but I tend to try and speak positively about people, or at least constructively suggest.
You try and see the best in people.
I try and see the best in people. And I have been thinking about this since Wednesday night, because I'm going, how do I approach this from the perspective of a review of the show? Do I go all in, or do I try and temper it somehow?
Yeah.
And I don't know what you think I should do.
Blissful ignorance. So, you know the owl lad in Father Ted who comes out after the sermon? And he says to him, Ted, that sermon, what the heck was that all about?
But actually,
he's just an old ignorant fella who, he's not trying to upset Ted.
No, he's not trying to. I love the way you bring it back. And in fairness, I got advice. Actually, young Rory Maitland there was out getting the haircut, and he said to me, look, when Tin Lizzie came up in the world, there was actual journalists doing real reviews of stuff, real reviews. As in, if Tin Lizzie were shite, which they were at the start for a while, there was people in the paper saying that was the worst thing I ever seen.
Gigs, like, as well.
Yeah, gigs,
almost like they were matches.
Restaurants,
I went to see them last night in this place, and it was terrible.
So
the sound was terrible. All that stuff.
That's kind of gone now. You don't see, like, I was looking up reviews, I couldn't find reviews. Reviews are now kind of, sprinkled with, look, it was a really nice night out. Really enjoyed it. The paint on the wall was quite a bright colour. Modern journalists don't tend to.
I found that reviews nowadays are more based on, like, the setup of the I went to see Taylor Swift last night. Dublin bus wasn't running until 2. It's stuff like that. It's a review of the evening, not the act.
Yeah, and of course Taylor Swift show, from by all intents.
Shite. Yeah, people said it was absolutely shite.
I went to this with the highest hopes into Vicar Street. Whew, here it goes.
I can't wait for this.
So, just to give you some backstory, it's the way it's set is it's immediately after Philip has passed away. So it's 1986. Philip has died. January 4th, 1986, and he has gone up, not down, he's gone up.
Lovely.
Upstairs.
He met us.
But he didn't get to heaven. He went to a really strange sub-compartment to heaven called Poets' kind of Purgatory.
Right?
And in Poets' Purgatory is essentially a pub, right? Because obviously poets that tend to hang out in pubs. So there's a barman behind a flight case, which was set up as a bar, and there was like a high table and a couple of high stools around it. And a man was sitting at the high table, and his name, we soon figured out because he didn't introduce himself. He is Brendan Behan. Are you familiar with Brendan Behan?
No,
the
they're
playwright?
going to wreck everything.
So Brendan Behan. Sorry, I have to even start. Sorry.
They're going to ruin everything.
It began with Tin Lizzie's original guitar player, Eric Bell, coming out, sweeping the floor like a janitor.
Actually, Eric Bell. And he got a big cheer, and he basically kind of said, how are you doing? And he was just speaking himself, and I knew Philip, and I knew him for a long time. And one thing I noticed is he never wanted to talk about his youth. So this was Eric Bell kind of saying, we'd bring it up and he'd shut us down. So, we're not getting into that.
And then off he went. Right? That was that. And then Oscar Wilde came out.
The actual Oscar Wilde?
No, just a gentleman. Now, we didn't know it was Oscar Wilde. It was just an English fellow with a bad wig and a suede jacket, and he came out and sang a very random song. And Laura leaned into me and goes, "Is this a Tin Lizzie song?" I said, "Not as far as I'm aware."
I must have missed that album.
I have listened to all of the albums, and I've listened to a lot of the B-sides and the back stuff. So I think I'd know them, but I didn't know this one. I was like, I'll give him that one, right? So then Oscar Wilde just disappeared off the stage.
Right.
Next thing came out, Brendan's Behan. And we didn't know it was Brendan Behan. It was just a dishevelled looking man in a suit with no shoes or socks on.
Oh, but I don't know if that's even a right thing. That's not a good interpretation of Brendan Behan, I don't think. So I don't know.
He comes out anyway, and he orders pints from the bar. And the barman is typical barman, an older fella, and he throws out 2 plastic pints of Guinness. So these are prop pints. These are literally plastic glasses filled with some sort of a plastic black stuff and the plastic white stuff on the top. They're like something a child would use at a tea party when they're 4 years of age.
Oh no.
They're that kind.
Like it's just not well propped or anything.
And the problem is then Brendan is sucking out of this plastic pint. Right? It's just...
Mistake number one. Brendan Behan would have never stood for plastic glasses.
He never would have drank with plastic pint.
He would have been up at Glastonbury.
On the stage.
The only man with a Guinness glass.
The bar is on the stage. It's very much set up like our live show. The bar was on the left-hand side of the stage as you look at it, and the set. And the right-hand side of the stage was the biggest band setup you ever asked for, with 2 really cool-looking guitar players and a really cool-looking drummer and 40,000 lights behind them. Mm-hmm. So Brendan and the barman are talking about the fact that this fella's after dying, and the barman going, "Are you meeting him?" He said, "I am. I'm meeting him," giving him the kind of initiation, And all of a sudden lands out a gentleman who played Philip, who looked a little bit like Philip.
Okay.
Creepy in itself. Right?
Jeez, they nailed that one.
So they decided rather than to go with someone who sang like Philip or played bass or, any of that, they went with him. And in fairness,
He had to look like him rather
this gentleman, in fairness, he is an accomplished actor. He is. I am not questioning his credibility at all. And he seems like a cool dude as well. In fairness to him, if I met about the pub going, "Geez, your man is the spit of Philip Blythe."
Yeah.
Right. So he lands out anyway, and he's surprised to be there. So Brendan has to try and explain to him what's going on, and he's a little bit miffed about the fact that he shouldn't be there, because he's after dying. So he's a bit thick.
Yeah, he's vexed now. Yeah,
he's vexed.
He's vexed at dying anyway.
He's vexed at dying anyway.
And now he's like, why did this day can't get much worse?
Now I'm sitting in the pub with Brendan being drinking plastic pints of Guinness.
And me only after dying. I'm only after dying.
And Brendan, what happened to your shoes? Why are you wearing no shoes?
Why you no shoes on that? Yeah, fucking hell. Okay.
So I don't know where to go. My head hurts. There was so much wrong with it.
So is the whole story that he's trying to get out of purgatory?
So he came out and Brendan started asking him about his youth. Now, there was little video interludes where all of a sudden they'd put up a picture on a big video wall at the back, and there'd be a picture of maybe, we say, Philip and his mother, Philomena.
Yeah.
And there'd be like a phone call from him, so a recording of a letter he wrote
An
to
actual
him.
one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's an audio bit. And at that point, the band who are sitting on the big massive band stage look at the television, and so does Brendan and Philip look at the television. So and the whole crowd are looking at the television. And then it stops, and then they go back to talking. And you're kind of going, what's this about now? So they're chatting away, and from a very early point in the thing, you can tell that Philip is somewhat needing a small drop of a prompt. So Philip will be telling the story. Yeah, so we started off in Dublin, and then we went over to London, and on the ferry we met John Peel, the famous radio DJ. And then Brendan Behan will say, "But did you meet someone before that?"
Oh no!
And Philip will go, "We did. We met."
You're joking? Is that
No, it happened a few times where Brendan had to prompt him, and I felt so bad from.
Was it the first night of the show?
No, second night. And it's a complicated story, in fairness, to come up with. So I can understand there's a lot of lines there, and the whole cast was effectively Philip, Brendan, Oscar Wilde came in every now and again smoking a fag and talking in English accents. What is this Philip fellow doing? Why is he here?
Oh my God.
And the barman would come in every now and again, and this random music reporter come in, run around the place, and then run off again. Anyway, you'd always know a song was coming because the two guitar players in the band would get up off the flight case they were sitting on and start tuning.
Oh my God, it's a stage show. It's not a musical, it's a stage show.
And they'd bet into this a song. So Philip would leave the bar table and he'd go over and he'd grab the microphone and he'd get all cool and he'd sing a song.
Yeah.
They'd sing the full song.
So what would happen was, let me think if I got a scene right. So Philip would say, "I met Bucky Boo on a plane one time."
Yeah.
Brendan Bean says, "I don't believe you."
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, if you don't believe me," the guitar player start tuning. That's the kind of shit that happened, isn't
Yes.
it? Don't believe me if I tell you.
When that shit happened, a number of things happened. One, the light show kicked in, and it was like watching a performance of a band in front of 3 Scania trucks at night in a road with their headlights at full dim. They had so many crowd blinders, and all your man did was turn on. And they were slightly angled to the right, so they were shining directly in me and Laura's eyes. You couldn't see a thing because you were that blinded.
Oh my God.
Number 2, they played to a backing track.
There was no... The band weren't playing?
The band were playing, but the bass was on a backing track. The bass at a Thin Lizzy musical
wasn't even on the stage.
Most of the night wasn't on the stage. Every now and again, the musical director would play the bass for a certain song or two, but mostly he was on an acoustic guitar. There was no live bass
at a Thin Lizzy gig.
And what's worse is when they played Whiskey in the Jar, middle of the night, the band slipped off the track and the bass was going to the E minor while the band were on the G.
The G. No. I don't believe it.
You could imagine my dissatisfaction at this point.
Oh my God.
Now I know that can happen from a music obviously, stop the track.
Yeah.
And they did a couple of times later, they actually stopped it and there was no bass at all. It was just 2 guitar players, acoustic guitar and the drums.
Sorry, no. I
the
know
drummer was playing with hot rods.
Thin Lizzy
musical.
He would turn in his purgatory grave.
There was no amps on stage of any. There was no Marshalls. There was no big amp pegs. There was no nothing.
That's gone now, Ray.
There was just blinding lights that give you sunburn.
Not to jump off the top, we'll go back to your story in a second, but just you're at about no amps on the stage or whatever. I have a friend and his favourite band ever is a band called Toto.
Yeah.
Right? And he wanted to see Toto before they stopped gigging, like, and a couple of years ago they came to Dublin and I think they'd done Vicar Street.
Oh, I remember this.
So he would have grown up like watching videos and DVDs of massive stadium tours of Toto with the bestest gear and that's Picaro.
Loads of amps.
No, or that's Phillips on the drums this time. Look at the kid he's using. He's using that snare. That Lucator, that's the Luke 2 he's using, but the amp he's using is this and the cabs. And he got to see them. And he said it was just like they didn't give a shite. They landed out. There was no amps on the stage.
Travelling light.
And he went. They were travelling light trying to save money on the tour.
At the front.
Yeah, that was it. So Luke, was just using like a digital box at the front. And he had got to the front of the line to see his hero. He wanted to get right up in front of Luke by this stage is well into his 60s, like, you know, or whatever age he is, still dressing like a young lad. And I said, but what was the gig like though? He said, I was so close to the front that he bypassed the PA.
Couldn't hear anything.
So he said, I couldn't hear anything. And all that was happening is, he said, Lucater was wearing a pair of leggings, so it was just his budgie in my face for 2 hours. He said it was just this budgie.
It was the squeak of his budgie rubbing together.
It was just this budgie kind of here, like, in front of him. He was like, this is a bit shit.
So this is the crack. Right, so let me see if I missed anything there now. So
yeah, but not you don't have to go score by score on the show, but like,
there was no women in the cast. I'll just give you the things.
Good.
50% of the songs I didn't know.
No way. They didn't even hit the hits.
But not even that. I'd never heard.
They weren't Thin Lizzy songs.
Half the songs of the night, I've never heard them before. So even if they were Thin Lizzy songs, where the hell were they from?
I wonder where the original Linnet songs.
I don't know, but I'd be fairly up on them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's see now. At the end of the night, then they brought Eric Bell, the original guitar player, back out to do Whiskey in the Jar again.
I'd say he's going, please just pay me. I can go home.
But this time they played it with the track correctly. So that was brilliant to see that they'd learned from the first round. But when Eric Bell and they finished the song, right? And that was the end of that. And then kind of Eric shuffled off as they bet into Dancing in the Moonlight. And that's kind of like what happened when Eric Bell left the band in the first place. Eric Bell left the band before they recorded Dancing in the Moonlight. And it was just really reminiscent.
They were just letting him know.
They were just like, see you now.
Just so you know, you were before all this shit. You're not playing. Isn't he from up north, isn't he, Eric Bell? Yeah. So they're literally saying, just a reminder there, Eric, one of the biggest hits, you're not fucking doing this. Can I just say, like,
I'm so happy to get that. I'm so sorry. I had to be honest.
No, you're right to be honest, because look, this is a big production.
I'd love to know that people feel the same, or that people enjoy it, or because there was a lot of people that did enjoy it. There was huge standing ovations, there was clapping. I was going, am I missing something here?
I think there was probably people there, Ray, that were just happy to see the spectacle of it and to hear the stuff.
Maybe I'm gone pure cynical.
I would have probably, no, I didn't see the show, but I probably would have cringed a lot at certainly some of the Bean stuff, unless they nailed Bean. Maybe they did, but by what you're telling me,
Bean wasn't actually too bad. He did okay, but again, it took me a while to figure out who he even was.
Yeah, I don't know, like I think I'd cringe at a lot of that stuff too. That's a stage show, Ray.
Yeah,
that's not a musical. It's a stage show.
Stage show. It's not a musical. And if they'd done it in a musical, I would have told it through the eyes of a child, discovering the music of Philip Lynott.
Yeah,
and learning about his life, and that would be played out with the child and his family and his extended friends, and using the songs that way.
Yeah.
But then again, it's very easy for me. Like, all credit to people put on in the production. There's a huge amount of work goes into production, and fair play to them for doing it. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Obviously, especially in Dublin, like big stuff like that, that's going to get commissioned.
Yeah.
If me and you write this this brand new musical, you know, there's no historical value in it really, but we think it's a brilliantly written musical.
Yeah.
And then your man comes in and says, I was thinking about doing a Phil Lynott stage show. They're going to give him, they're going to go lovely. Because
he gets the Arts Council funding.
He's going to get the Arts Council funding, which is obviously causing trouble now, actually.
He must have been part of that new IT system.
Come here. I think it's ever since they brought out that musical, everyone started that. Come here. Where's this money going?
Yeah. I mean, like at one stage, I actually thought about calling the guards. It's like something definitely going on.
I mean, I don't mind you saying that. I know I'm always on your case about don't be like.
No,
but I get that. That is a critical review of a show that has nothing to do with us.
And like I said, it's a critical review. It's just my opinion.
It is actually just your opinion.
And don't let my opinion upset you.
Yeah.
You can have your own opinion.
I bet you there's someone there who would be just delighted to see it. This is a good example of it, actually. Myself and Nicola and Noel and Trisha and Craig, I think at the time years ago, we're big fans of Still Game, the Scottish sitcom.
I remember this. Yeah.
And we went to see the final ever Still Game show in Glasgow.
Yeah.
They ran it for like 3 months, sold out. And like the more I look back on that show, I was delighted to have seen it. Like, but the show was probably shite. Like,
but that's it.
I get the feeling the show was kind of shite.
There's
But
probably kids there that loved it. They were
Yeah.
going, "This is the first time I've ever seen anything like a full band playing Tin Lizzy. This is unbelievable." And a guy that looks like him singing it.
Yeah.
This is as close to this I'm ever going to
yeah,
get.
so they're probably going, brilliant. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this show. Yeah, that's what I mean by that.
I'm
like,
an old cynical old bastard.
No, but
Don't
I get
hate
it
me.
too, though. I get it too, because the more I look back at that Still Game show, like, I can't remember even what it was about. Like,
Yeah.
I think I was just happy to see all the characters. I think
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, cool, that's your man there,
Yeah.
your man there.
Yeah.
So I'm sure when Eric Bell came out, I'm sure a lot of old school boys went,
But even
Eric Bell.
I was going, "Oh my God, that janitor is not a janitor. He's not just sweeping up the floor. He's the old guitar player from Tin Lizzy.
Yeah.
He's a marvellous man, in fairness.
Yeah, he's a real kind of secluded, laid back fella, isn't he, Eric Bell? So you would have been better. Are you going to the Book of Mormon?
I might try
Ray.
and swing it.
I swear, I can't stress enough.
I've been to it before.
Oh, have you seen the Book of
years and
Mormon?
years and years ago? But I know Laura wants to go see it, so we'll have to talk about
I mean, and I get people are like, oh, there's another heterosexual man who loves the Book of Mormon. I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. Like,
I'll talk to her again and see can we.
yeah.
If I stop buying things in the middle aisle, we might be able to manage it. I have a couple other bits.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, real quick. I want to give you just a little bit of a tip, and I want to share this information with people in general.
Raise tips.
Raise tips.
Here we go.
This is about fairies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't bulldoze a fairy fort.
I have a friend, Kevin Healy. I think his surname is Healy. Anyway, if it's not.
Good friend of yours, is he?
Good friend of mine, yeah. He's from the band La Gracia.
Oh, yeah,
Kevin
yeah.
Grania.
Okay, yeah.
So Kevin, anyway, last night I was out for the dinner with him, and he said to me, he had a friend that was out working in a bog in Ballyfarnan. You know where Kilronan Castle is? Yeah, so he's up in Ballyfarnan, he's in a bog.
I don't want to give out people's addresses, but that's where he's from originally. Go on.
Yeah, that's where he's from.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he said one of his friends was working in a field, in a bog area in Ballyfarnan, and he decided that's the end of that now. Sun is going down, time for me to go back to the house. This was a much simpler time, before TikTok. And he decided to walk towards the gate to get out of the field that was in the bog area that he was working in. He was tipping along, you'd be walking towards the gate, but you mightn't be looking at the gate.
Oh, often.
Often.
I've often done it. I haven't walked towards the gate. I wouldn't be looking at the door.
No, you wouldn't.
Try to know where that gate
But then
is.
when you look up and you're expecting to see the gate is no longer there. So if this happens to you, right, and you look around and you realise the gate is off to the other direction, so you've clearly been walking in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So you adjust your course and you start walking towards the gate.
Walking in a straight line is not what it seems to be. Yeah.
But again, you might be looking down at your phone, you're tipping along, you know now you're walking towards the gate, it's not hard, and you look up again, gate's gone, it's around behind you. And you're going, there's something going wrong here.
I would get a proton pack from Ghostbusters. Straight
Do you know
away.
what it is? If this happens to you, it's the fairies fecking with you.
Oh, I love it.
Right? The fairies are messing with you. They've got you in a little fairy area.
Yeah, fairy. Fairy, yeah.
Fairy area. Fairy area.
Fairy, yeah.
Yeah. So they've got you in one of those and and there's no way you're getting out of this field unless you know the secret to getting out of the field. The secret to getting out of the field is take off your jumper, turn it inside out, and put it back on, and you'll immediately be able to leave the field without any problems.
And I mean, that's true. That's law. Like,
And to know something, it's important that these podcasts should give
because
this information. That'll happen to
get
people.
stuck in fields.
And Kevin's friend said, only that I knew this old wives' tale about taking the jumper off, turning it inside out and putting it back on, I'd have never left that field.
Yeah.
And we'd never have seen that man again.
I mean, isn't that amazing? Where you can laugh all you want at that.
Yeah.
That's why this country is brilliant.
That's passed down generation to generation.
Yeah.
And he benefited from it.
There's a documentary of an old boy with a brilliant accent. And
Is that what the documentary's about?
I think that's
so
what it's
you have
called.
a brilliant accent.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you got that.
he's
accent.
talking about fairies, like, and the mythology behind them. But he's not even talking like it's mythology.
Oh, it's real.
He's talking like, I'm just letting you know now, if you come across this stuff,
Yeah.
you can't do this with them, or you can't. And he's bringing the guy around
Yeah.
to the sites.
Yeah.
That tree over there, now that's fairy forts.
Can't touch that.
There's 8 of them.
Yeah.
Billy, Willie, Millie.
Yeah. Sounds like the dwarves.
So yeah, so there's Grumpy and there's, and I love that.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that my favorite thing is that we don't. So I have a feeling in other countries, if someone came up and said, "Hey, you guys, let's say it's America, you guys, see that tree over there? There's 10 fairies underneath us." It would be locked up like one
Yeah.
flew over the cuckoo's Kendy.
It would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Ireland, we don't even treat them like they're mad.
No, they're We
We
need
just
them.
go, that's Old Tommy knows
Yeah.
them stories.
Yeah.
If you want to know about the local lands,
Yeah.
go up to Old Tommy, he'll tell you about the fairy forts.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mm.
And we've talked about it before on this. My favourite thing is, and I have to find the article so we can share it, and also so that I don't mess up the story. But I think they blamed the M50 flooding on the fact that they built it through a fairy
Well, they
fort.
absolutely did.
And I love the fact that that went into, like, that was talked about in the Dáil, and it was. And they were like, "But should we build it through a fairy
Yeah,
fort?
what did you expect?
What do we expect?
Yeah.
Through a fairy fort?"
Yeah. Foolish.
I love that. I love that we can explain stuff because sometimes you delve too far into it, and we're very bad for it nowadays in really delving into the nooks and crannies of, even if it's economics or whatever. But like, I love the fact that it can all just be passed off with, it must have been the fairies.
Yeah. But there you go now.
It must have been the fairies.
If ever you can't get out of a field,
I know how to.
you know
now.
how to now.
And Roscommon is full of fairy forts. By
I
the
know,
way.
so be careful.
Yeah, no, it is. Like, Fairy Mount is only out the road from us, a couple of kilometres. And you can't, God forbid you do anything like, that's why if you're, anyone who's not from Ireland, if you're driving through, I hope this is right as well, if you're driving through the rural Ireland and you see like one tree in the middle of a field and you're like, why did they not just cut that? It's probably because they're afraid of fairies.
That's right.
So there you go. You can take that one home with you.
I have a few bits. I want to talk, first of all, did you see the ad on television about, like, it's a razor ad for women, and the lady is shaving above and below her underpants,
The bikini line, yeah.
her bikini line.
Yeah, so can I just say as well?
And it came into Joe Duffy, and
Yeah.
they called it the epitome of vulgarity.
Yeah, I love that that's still a thing as well, though.
Yeah.
I have to say, I love that owl ones are still going in
Still
Ireland.
absolutely go mental about
Yeah.
the fact that they showed a lady shaving, as far as she was concerned, her private parts.
I mean, Lord rest her, there was a friend of mine and his granny would nearly start heaving. Do you remember there was an ad on television where, like, she kisses the fella's armpit whenever, or he kisses her armpit when she's after Vietnamese.
Yes!
You know, she's
I remember this.
And she'd be like, oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord, isn't that absolutely disgusting.
Disgusting.
Isn't that disgusting how she going up? And
Yeah.
she'll be pregnant now before she knows a kissing that fella's armpit. I love that.
I
love that generation isn't gone yet.
No, they're still there.
Because I do wonder about us now in our 30s and 40s and what we'll be like.
Yeah.
Like, we won't pass any heating ads like that at 90, but what will we be giving out about?
Oh, we're
That's
already-
disgusting. They're showing a full fatty.
We're
you know.
already going. I hear loads of my age group now giving out about bar staff being too slow.
No, that's it. But come here now. That's real.
I know what you're going to say. It's real, but
That's what I'm gonna
I
do.
feel we're straying into what our parents used to be giving out about the youth of today. Now they're useless, and we'd be looking at them going, "Go way out of that now. Don't be annoying us. We're
Come here.
just fine."
That's completely different because the youth of today are useless, okay? That's completely different. You missed the point completely. Anyway, that woman giving out on Joe Duffy, yeah, I mean, I love that she's still there.
Yeah.
And give her the airtime. Why not?
Well, she'd be also probably have opinions on Molly Malone's ditties.
Now, let's have a chat about Molly's ditties. There's not really much there to be... No, I'm joking. I don't want to make...
It's really simple though. They're now talking about putting stewards outside, standing,
Two civil servants.
two people paid by the government.
Two county council workers.
Yeah, to stand there to make sure people aren't touching Molly's ditties.
Molly's ditties. Molly's ditties gonna change your mind.
Yeah.
You want to. Anyone know what that song is I'm singing?
That's a very
There you go.
old song.
That's a very
It's
old
a
song.
classic hit there now.
Molly's ditties. Anyone who knows that for a
But
pitchy.
do you have any problem with people touching Molly's ditties?
Like, I don't though. Like, as in, I have no problem with people touching
It's
Molly's
metal.
ditties. So
Yeah.
so if we're getting down to that, Molly doesn't care because she's metal.
Yeah.
Okay. So Molly doesn't give a shit.
No, and if we go down the road of consent, then there's going to be the whole thing around mannequins as well. Touching mannequins, dressing them, carrying them from the front window into the storage room. You could be done for molesting a mannequin. Not.
You better not be, can you? No, Ray, that's not true.
But I mean, if we start assigning rights to a statue
Yeah. So
and putting two people beside it to keep an eye on things.
of course. So I know what you're saying, and I get that. I'm on board with you on that.
Thank you.
All right. You
Makes
cannot
sense.
give consent to a metal. Like, come on, now it's an object.
Yeah.
If you can open it, you can ride it. Okay, that's right. Okay. But I just want to say.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I know what they're saying though. They're kind of saying we are kind of normalizing the fact that you can go up and grab a ditty when you can't though. You can't just go up and grab a ditty.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. They're kind of saying, do you think it's normal that people go up and take pictures grabbing a ditty? You shouldn't do that. Like, but I think
Okay.
most people have the wherewithal not to grab a ditty. Imagine if I was out in town, I'm in the
Yeah.
Garvogue and I just walk up to a girl and you have a camera.
Apparently, it's good luck.
Like, you have a camera and I say, sorry, Rage is going to take a photo. Is that okay? And I just grab her ditty. Like, no one's going to do that. So you
No.
shouldn't. And I think we know right from wrong. Like,
Yeah.
the only people who don't know right from wrong are people who are wrong.
Yeah.
Okay? 99% of the population know.
That's very-
Listen, I went to Verona when I was 14-year-old, okay, on a school trip,
Yeah.
right, to Italia.
Yeah.
And 14 or 15, not that matters. went on a school trip with teachers, and there's a statue of Juliet, who was a fictional character.
Romeo's Beure.
Yeah, Romeo's Beure.
Yeah.
Do you know Romeo's Beure?
Yeah,
Juliet,
yeah.
Juliet, that was Romeo's Beure. I'm singing the whole episode. What is wrong with me? Not only a fictional character, but now cast in metal again.
Yes.
So not only was she not real, she's now cast in metal.
Yeah.
Everybody it's good luck to grab the Juliet's Diddy in Verona.
Really? So they have a Diddy problem as well?
Yeah, so teachers were taking the photos of us grabbing the Diddy.
Wow.
Because we weren't thinking of it cynically.
So that explains why you
That
you have a tendency to grab people's
grab Diddies down the town.
Yeah, because the teacher said it was okay.
It was like, hang now we know. Sure, Miss Ryan said, grab away at that Diddy. That's right.
Hold on, let's take a snap.
But what I'm saying is, us as young lads like that, or even the women that were there, or the teachers that were there was nothing cynical about it, because none of us were going, oh geez, I might think about doing that now in town later. We of course knew that's not. We were just doing what every tourist was doing.
Isn't it sad to see like the common sense coming out of the world though?
I know that's the problem.
That's the bit that I'm annoyed with.
Yeah, I'm
If
so
there's two people standing there minding Molly's Diddies, I'm going to be so sad at that the government are spending money on those two people.
I know, and I'm with you on that too. You've actually I couldn't have put it better myself. I've talked for 10 minutes there now trying to explain myself, and you said it. The common sense has gone out of the world. Yeah, you know, like I'm not going to grab a Diddy after this.
Yeah.
I was just having a bit of crack with this statue. Is all, and everyone seems to be having the crack with this statue.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, I understand that they're kind of like, you know, you wouldn't go up and grab the flute off a statue, but people do. People laugh at Michelangelo's little yoke.
I'll be honest with you.
People are always laughing at Michelangelo's little yoke. I think it's impressive yoke.
I'm sure there was plenty of times in like museums where there would be Michelangelo's young fella hanging out.
Yeah.
That you'd be inclined to
come here. Can I just say as well, fellas prefer the Mickeys. Anytime I see a Mickey on display, right? Be it in a jug.
Well, you're immediately comparing.
Yeah, but you immediately go,
No.
me and the boys go, look.
Yeah.
Look.
Ah, no, much been cold that day.
The second we were sculpting anything in art class, I was like, Kev, look at this. I did. Look at the Mickey. About to make it a Mickey. So we find all of that funny. So it's not, there's nothing cynical, I promise. You know?
Just to finish off, episode
Go on.
282.
Go on.
I had a fireplace for sale. There's a fireplace in the house. I put it up on Facebook thinking someone might like to buy it.
How do you take a fireplace out?
Well, you just take it out.
But the actual piece
like
itself?
it's the marble.
You mean
you take it off the wall.
the mantle?
The whole thing, the whole surround.
Right, okay.
And I had a lady, de Lavalas.
Oh, yeah.
Come on,
Still
Facebook,
available?
Still
Question
available.
mark.
I said, yeah, still available. And she's immediately going, okay, great. I will organise.
I will send GPS man to your house.
But it wasn't even that. This looked kind of real.
Okay.
She was kind of going, I'll send you do you use Revolut? My sister will collect. And I going, okay, you do use Revolut? Still available? And then she said, my sister will come collect it this evening. And I said, do you know what you're buying? It's a fireplace that has to be removed by a builder.
My sister
I know, just coming at 6:30 to collect the fireplace. And I said, do you realise you're buying what you're buying? It's a fireplace that must be removed from the wall, you know, with tools. And then she just texts back, all right. And I haven't heard from her
So
since.
was it real then? It could have been real.
I think she could have been. I think she was thinking she was buying something else.
But also, did she think you had the fireplace taken out already?
She thinks the fireplace was something you can just literally remove and that she can put into her fireplace. She didn't think it was like concreted into the wall.
Yeah, so can I also say, I thought that too, though. I feel stupid now, too. I don't know how fireplaces work. Come here. A big shout out, ladies and gentlemen, to Maves and the Garavogue Bar for sponsoring us
Thank
as
you,
well.
making it all happen and all.
Thanks to Brendan for
Oh, Brendan isn't here. Oh. And he's not on annual leave either. We literally said, you go ahead and watch the Arsenal match and we'll do this ourselves. But it worked out all right.
It worked out brilliant.
The only thing is there's one element of it that obviously we do need to...
Oh, yeah. In order to stop this from her, I now have to go over.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the worst ending to a podcast ever. So what you know what you do? You take ages. I have to run over and stop, hit the off
because
button.
you say good luck and then I say good luck.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a pause after your good luck and then you're going to give me a nod and I'm going to do my good luck and then we're going to kick into the outro.
It doesn't get much more professional than this.
No,
Let's
it
make
doesn't.
sure you buy that new video caster.
Apparently there's a bit of software you can get. You can do this in front of you there. So we'll get that for next week.
Yeah, next week we'll have all this sorted, I promise.
Yeah, so just
now,
this week.
Get ready for the most awkward ending ever to the Kendy Raybo podcast. Ray, fair play to me.
And fair play to me.
Good luck.
Also thanks to Go Loud, by the way. Fair play to them. Sorry. Good luck.
The Kendy and Raybo podcast, sponsored by Maeve's Cozy Front Lounge and the Garavogue.